And welcome back to Return of Lantern Corps videos. Today's Lantern Corps suggestion comes from JRC, who asked the question, what Lantern Corps with Orihime Inoue slash Kurosaki, as she became at the end of the series. Spoilers, the manga's only ended since, 2016, I believe, or longer than that. But yeah, for anyone who's listening, don't spoil that. Take a guess who's going to pair up with who. But yeah, what is the Lantern Corps of this character? As someone who's obviously been very open about how much they are a fan of Bleach and knows a ton about the lore as well as the character dynamics, this is definitely up my alley to kind of figure it out. Orihime was always portrayed as a very kind, very affectionate, very caring individual. She was always concerned about others more so than herself. And look, she's kind of the main girl, or at least one of the main girls in the series. So she didn't necessarily get a lot of airtime, all things considered, but she got the appropriate amount of screen time in many things. Hell, she's kind of the, not MacGuffin, but the thing you chase after, if you will. I guess MacGuffin, is the right thing. She is the main plot point of the Rancor arc that they got to go into Waco Mundo and save her. So, what Lantern Corps do I think would go well with her? There are three, I think, really solid and admittedly kind of obvious options. Let's get a couple of these ones out of the way first, though, going from, say, the bottom and then moving forward. She is not a Lantern of Happiness because she has not been happy her entire life. You need to have been happy and full of joy for them in all of your life, pretty much. She's also not an Ultraviolet Lantern, as she doesn't really carry a lot of shame with her. To a degree, during some of the arcs, she was feeling a little upset and ashamed that she couldn't help out more in some ways, but I wouldn't say that would qualify her for being an Ultraviolet Lantern overall, only maybe those instances. White Lantern is a little difficult. She is a mother, she has given birth, she has created life. And I will always argue that because of that, any character who is a mother does qualify a bit more than, say, a male character does for White Lantern, because, yes, technically speaking, fathering in life is technically the same thing, but the woman has to nurture, grow, and then give new life to the life. Conceiving, you get minor points on that, guys. But point being that, yeah, she's a mother at the end, so, and then you also got to get into the idea of how maybe souls and how much they live kind of factors into that. Granted, Orihime is a living person, and she's very bubbly and happy, enjoys life. White Lantern is maybe a very mild option, a very soft option. I would not have put it in the main three, probably not even in the main 4 or 5. Might become like the very last. Despite the series involving the world of the dead to some degree, and to many degrees a lot of the times, spirits and all that, Orihime has never died. She's left her body before, multiple times as a matter of fact, but she has never died. So I can't in good conscience give her a Death Lantern ring. Hope was one I debated. There could be a strong argument for Hope, her placing faith in Ichigo a lot of the time, and her holding on to that hope, certainly. But at the same time, hope isn't necessarily placed in her all the time. In fact, sometimes, there's been several moments in the series where people didn't think she could cut it, and they weren't wrong at the time. So, I don't know. Hope is a very weird one. She's very optimistic and bubbly a lot. So, I think you could make the argument for Hope. I would probably keep it as the fourth option, more than anything else. But she's not greedy at all, so it doesn't qualify for an Avarice Lantern ring. And she definitely is not fueling with rage, so she's definitely not a Red Lantern. She's also not very intimidating, so I can't in good conscience give her a Yellow Lantern ring. What I would go with is, Will is one of them. Sorry, it's boring, but we're talking about most likely, and looking over these things, this is one of the most likely. You have to overcome fear and have strong willpower. Orihime's willpower can flux a little bit, especially when it comes to her desire to fight and kill and battle and hurt people. But in terms of overcoming great fear, oh no, she had to do that. She had to do that in spades in the Soul Society arc when her and Tatsuki got attacked by the Hollow. In the original arc, they lost the I think it's the Lost Agent arc, the first one. Then the Soul Society arc, where she did have to overcome some very frightening individual, like Mayuri, for instance, blowing someone up in front of her. Despite the fact she was afraid, she put up the shield and she stood her ground. Ukiura, that entire thing was her overcoming her fear of him. So yeah, Will is definitely on the list. I'm thinking about it now. I might even replace Blue with Will, though. Blue does seem to make a little bit more sense, but either way, I still don't think it's the strongest one. Compassion is also on there. Now, Compassion, again, is a bit of a one way or the other. You either need to be completely devoid of it, or it does need to be your strongest suit, or your strongest emotion. And she just is a bleeding heart, if we're going to be honest. She is just someone who, it doesn't matter if you're her friend or you're her enemy, she will be concerned about you, which is both sweet and stupid. Because sometimes, sometimes that don't make sense. When that don't make sense, it don't make sense. But yeah, Compassion, I think, can definitely work in Orihime's favor. Unfortunately, it is the obvious one for this character, which sucks. I really don't like to be obvious, but it's the one that makes the most sense. Star Sapphire. Her motivation ultimately is her love of Ichigo. I mean, love for her friends and everything like that, but let's be honest, that is a driving motivator of who she is, why she helps Ichigo and her friends in doing all of this. If she had her way, she probably wouldn't get involved in the Hollows ever again after that first experience. But between her gaining her abilities, her caring about Tatsuki, because she gained her abilities to save Tatsuki out of her love of Tatsuki. So then obviously, her love for Ichigo, which grew into legitimate, she was in love with him. And yeah, unfortunately, this one, it's obvious. Like I said, I don't like being obvious if I can help it. But here we are, and yeah, she'd be a Star Sapphire, I think. This is just my opinion, though. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you agree with that, or would you disagree with that? Let me know. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.